Since the dawn of time there have been two different types of people, good programmers and good artists. Usually programmers hire artists to make art for their games, however I'm not much of a programmer and I'm not much of an artist, so today I'm going to make my first asset pack and I'm going to make it completely for free and give it out completely for free, so you can use it in whatever project you want, even monetizing commercial ones. So without any further hesitation, let's jump right into Blender and start making some stuff. So the first thing I want to do is actually decide what kind of asset pack I want to make. Well, I know that I want to make it low poly because I love it when there's stylized sort of assets in games because they look really cool. And secondly, I wanted to make a sort of forest environment for a sort of survival game. And so with that in mind, I went directly into Blender and started modeling a tree. Now this tree was extremely simple, just a couple of cylinders and I could model a tree trunk and a couple of leaves. And once we have that, we don't want to remake the same tree over and over again. Instead, let's just Shift D to duplicate the tree and then just go into proportional editing and modify it a little bit. And there we go, now we have three different trees. One is straight, one has a bad back, and one has scoliosis, which is, gonna scar him for life. But that aside, let's make some more assets. Next up, I wanted to make some rocks, because in forest, well, you have rocks usually, I think. I don't know, I don't go outside much. But anyway, really simple process, just add in a really basic mesh and just modify it in proportional editing until it looks jagged, and then the magic is really going to come in when you start texturing it. But before we do that, let's add some more assets. So in forest we don't just want to have trees and grass. Oh, hang on, grass, that's perfect. Yes, let's make some grass. So everybody knows that grass is made out of cubes, so let's add a cube and scale it up and just modify it so it looks like a sort of blade of grass. And then same process, just go into proportional editing and modify its position, and there we go, now we have 4 blades of grass. But we need more assets, we need more diversity in our forest, because 3 trees and a couple of rocks aren't gonna cut it. So I decided to make some more diverse trees. Because I have a lot of original ideas, let's make a teeny tiny tree, and then a big mama tree. And then, yeah, we probably should stop reusing the same tree because it's getting a bit old now. So let's create a brand new tree. This one is going to be, well, I don't know what it is. Call it a lollipop tree. Next up, let's create a sort of Japanese styled blossoming cherry tree with bright colours, because we don't just want green in our forests, we want some other stuff as well. And with that, I was pretty happy with how things were turning out. And now we come to the most exciting part, texturing. Because everybody knows that texturing is what really gives your game life, because it takes it out of that bland space and gives it a multicoloured aspect usually, unless your game looks like this, or this, or this. But in our case, we're going to make some really cool assets with beautiful colours. So like I said, for the rock, we're going to add a bunch of diverse colours. Now we come to the really important part, texturing. When you texture something in a game, it has to be really good, and usually people don't like it when you have poor quality textures. So in this case, instead of having a defined resolution for our textures, we're just going to use pixels. And we're going to scale everything down into a single pixel, and now that's looking really cool. However, for these rocks, I got a special trick up my sleeve. You see, I have a bunch of diverse random textures here from different variations of black and grey, and if I scale down the UVs, you can see it looks like the mesh is a lot more chaotic than it actually is, thanks to the textures. And that's just going to give it a lot more life inside of the game, instead of just looking like a blob. So yeah, pretty cool. And with the whole process wrapped up and finished, this is what all the different assets look like. And like I said, all the assets are completely free to download, use commercially or whatever. You can use them however you want in your own projects, and don't credit me, I don't want to have my name associated with these assets ever. So stay tuned, because I've never made a game inside Unity before, and I'm going to be using only these assets.